Welcome back, everybody,
to the ReVitalized podcast.
It's the ReVitalized podcast. That's what it is. It's what we're doing. It's what is going on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Elle.
I'm Justyn. And today we got a fun episode jam-packed with you guys. We got a special guest.
Yes.
We got a co-host today.
A co-host today.
Deputy, you mind saying hi to the good people?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
That's Deputy.
That's
AKA
Deputy.
Drew.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny enough, his mom actually named him Deputy, and Drew is the nickname.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's one of the reasons why we love him.
Yeah.
But today it's going to be good. We're going to review a video of Marty Makary talking about the new food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
We've been looking into that quite a bit over the weekend since last week it was announced, and we like it a lot. We want to talk a lot about it because it's some good stuff. And it's going to be a great episode. I think after that we got some questions and bunch of other good things coming up. It's all good things. If they're not good things, then you'll tell us.
And if you didn't know, Marty is the new head of the FDA, and
That's
which
right.
is a very good thing because for a long time we've been receiving us as a society some very interesting information from the FDA. And
Interesting is a good word for it.
And ever since recent events, we've been having perhaps improved information. So let's look at some of the things that they've been working on, such as the new
That's
food
right. Well,
pyramid.
first of all, before that, it's Monday. Which means we got to be grateful because we're thanking God for another amazing Monday.
Absolutely.
Most people push off their happiness and their excitement until Friday, until Saturday. Maybe it lasts until Sunday because they're just not happy at the start of a new week. But that makes no freaking sense because you're going to live the week anyway. You're going to be alive Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Why not just be happy? If you can be upset and cranky, you can also be happy and grateful.
That's true.
So it's a start to another week. We're going to be grateful for it. We're going to big smile on our faces. It's the middle of winter in Canada. Super cold, tons of snow. A lot of reasons for people to be sad or miserable. We're just going to reject that silly ideology and that silly mentality because we're alive.
Yeah.
Life is a gift. You might be going through some terrible, terrible stuff in your life right now, but you are alive to go through it. And that's still a great thing.
It's
still a great, great thing.
Absolutely. And I can definitely say that I'm really grateful for change. I'm grateful that, we can change, that we do have the power to change, that we have so many different things that we can do in our lives. You have one life and you can literally do pretty much anything with it.
That's right. It's just not over yet.
Exactly.
Our hearts are still beating.
Exactly.
So we can be going through terrible times, and those terrible times can be turned into good times. And we can be going through good times that might get turned into terrible times, but they can be turned into good times again.
If you're alive, there's still hope.
That's
and
right,
again,
exactly.
The biggest reason why I think people are dealing with a lot of pessimism is because that's all they talk about. That's the only way they think, right?
That's
And
right.
so life seems pretty bleak when that's the only way you operate from. That's the only position you operate from. And so if you're going to be alive anyways, you may as well get the most benefit out of it. You may as well have a terrific life.
That's
And
right.
if you're going to have a terrific life, you have to have a positive outlook on life. It is absolutely essential for you to do that. And it's wonderful that you can change the habits that don't benefit you. It's wonderful that you can change different perspectives that don't benefit you. It's wonderful that you can change, anything that you need to. You actually can change it. If you need some help, that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting help. But the point is like this hope of knowing that it can happen. It can change. If someone else can do it, why can't you do it?
That's right.
And that's definitely what I'm grateful for.
Exactly. Well, for me, this is probably going to reveal how Canadian we really are. I'm grateful for flipping snow tires.
I thought you were going to say maple syrup when you said that, but
too.
anyways, keep going.
I'm grateful
Yeah.
for maple syrup, but I'm really grateful for snow tires. I mean, just think about this. We all have cars. We all drive. If you live in an area with snow, you understand what that's like to drive around on snow. And I'm just grateful that every time I drive the car, every time Elle drives the car, we got really, really, really safe, high-class technology in our vehicle. We got good brakes. We got safe tires. Like, I don't got to worry about her going out and having a car accident. How many people, since cars have been invented, do you think have had to worry every winter about not being able to stop, about getting all concerned or fearful or anxious about driving? We don't got to do that. That's freaking awesome. Grateful for snow tires. You know what I'm saying?
Good quality snow tires. Absolutely.
That's right. Drew, what are you grateful for, buddy?
I mean, there's at least 1,000 things I'm grateful for, but
The
first thing that came to my mind was my brain health.
Mm.
Some people would know that from the age of 14 to about 21, I was playing sports. And by the age of 22, I had such bad light sensitivity due to brain injuries that I couldn't even go outside. It was about a year and a half until I could go outside or be around light again. And so I'm just extremely grateful to have my health where it is right now, where I have no issues anymore.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about right there.
That's amazing.
Thank God for another amazing Monday. Thank God for Drew's
Absolutely.
brain health. Thank God for snow tires. And thank God that our hearts are still beating. and we can change.
Absolutely. We
You know what I'm saying?
can. We
It's a
can.
good thing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Your life isn't a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice.
That's right. That's a good one. Okay, I think we got Marty. We got Marty McFly, Marty McMakary to pop up, and he got some good stuff.
Marky Mark.
There we go. All right, so this is Marty Makary. He's doing a White House address on the new dietary guidelines, and we thought it'd be cool if we pull it up together, we go through it, and we watch it. And so Elle and I are going to say the best stuff we can say about it, and if there's bad stuff to say, we'll say that too.
Anyways, let's jump into it.
Let's roll it.
Today marks the beginning of the end of an era of medical dogma on nutrition. For decades, we've been fed a corrupt food pyramid that has had a myopic focus on demonizing natural, healthy, saturated fats, telling you not to eat eggs and steak, and
That's totally
ignoring
true.
a giant blind spot. Refined carbohydrates, added sugars, ultra-processed food. This study in JAMA now shows that 60% to 70%.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand where he's coming from, and he's addressing hundreds of millions of people, so he's probably got to be a bit more polite than I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a blind spot. The added sugars, the refined carbohydrates, those were promoted in the old guidelines. Like they weren't. It wasn't just ignored; it was encouraged.
Yeah, 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates.
Yeah. So like,
is
I appreciate what he's doing, but he's being a little bit soft. I think.
well, you know, like you said, he has to be.
He's gotta
And
be, yeah.
and again, you know, remember that simple carbohydrates, they are sugar. They are sugar. And yeah, sure, if you look at the old pyramid, right, it's on the tippy top where it just says, oh, fat and sugar, and then it doesn't specify, right, like types of sugar, types
Right.
of fat, etc. But it's very unfortunate how or excuse me, like I appreciate that he is specifically pointing out the fat part of like the healthy
Yeah.
fats, how they were demonizing a lot of fats and eggs and meats and different things like this. Because
That's true.
you even look at pregnancy, for example. Eggs are truly one of the healthiest things a woman can eat to get like choline and zinc and you know, like different types of like
the white and the yolk.
yes,
The whole egg is
the
great.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we can see how that was very discouraged. And
Mhm.
this is something very healthy for women to have in pre-pregnancy and in all their different trimesters. It's something very, very important. And then we also see how, you know, that's also going to be very important for, you know, talking about brain health, just like Drew was mentioning on, right?
Mhm.
Is, you know,
Drew, do
eggs
you
are
like
one
eggs?
of the
Yeah. Eat eggs
Exactly.
every single morning.
Exactly.
Every single
Exactly.
morning.
Eggs are
Exactly.
great.
So, you know, all right. Well, let's keep going through this. But I agree.
Yeah.
He has to be soft.
He's got to
and-
be polite and politically correct.
Mhm.
But it was not a blind spot. It was definitely a focus. That's for sure.
Well, it was the spot that we were
70%
being
of
blind
kids-
to.
That's a good one. Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
are getting their calories from ultra-processed foods. That's an
Can you
epidemic.
go back for like 10
We now
seconds?
have-
How many Americans do you say are getting their main calories?
Kids are getting their calories from ultra-processed foods.
Yeah. So it's about
Added sugars.
kids calories
Well, how
from
much-
that
how many
JAMA.
kids, though?
Hold on. From that JAMA study, I
Yep.
believe the JAMA study, they went over 33,000 different children
Mhm.
from the ages of 2 to 19 from like 1999 to recently. And it was around 60 to 70% of their intake. It was increasing, and overall it was all ultra processed foods.
Holy
That's how bad it was.
smokes.
And then you also look at different things like you know, school meals, right?
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of what they would serve, because it was such an emphasis on lower protein, higher carbohydrates, where it was acceptable for pizza. And we're talking like simple cheese pizza to be considered a full meal. That was acceptable. It would be considered, if they did any
Just-
breakfast programs, to just give kids like bread with maybe some margarine on it. And that would be considered something healthy.
Margarine is not better than butter. And I can believe it's not butter because it sucks compared to butter. And anybody from margarine listening and watching, I said it and I don't regret it. big
Yeah.
margarine. You better watch out.
And so especially when we look at children's health, how obesity has only increased, and when we've seen even chronic conditions, and this is also like across the board, right, from this study, from the JAMA study, when we're looking at neurological, when we're looking at developmental, when we're looking at also metabolic. So all different types, like including obesity of different chronic conditions, how he was saying that so many of them from the ages of even 2 years old to 19, including in obesity, has increased, So clearly this diet hasn't been helpful in our goals to have a healthier society. At least we have goals to have a healthier society. And, like that's something that I'm sure will change around, because there's a lot of elements to it. Let's keep running the video, but
Let's
I just
keep
wanted
rolling.
to
We're-
go more on the background of that study. But yeah,
How long is this video, by the way?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, around 2 minutes.
Holy smokes. Okay. It's going to take us 20 to get through it.
Ultra
I like
processed
it.
food. This study in JAMA now shows that 60% to 70% of kids
Dude, that's insane.
are getting their calories from ultra processed foods. That's an epidemic. We now
Absolutely
have a
it is.
generation of kids addicted to refined carbohydrates, low in protein. They are literally nitrogen negative because we've used old flawed studies that used urine nitrogen to estimate body protein metabolism, and they missed the mark. The old guidelines had such a low protein recommendation that we are increasing that by 50 to 100%. Kids
Thank
need protein.
God.
The old protein guidelines were to prevent starvation and withering away. These new protein guidelines are designed for American kids to thrive, and they're based on science, not on dogma. We have 40% of our kids now with a chronic disease. It is not their fault. This is something that is the result of bad advice from the government and a medical establishment that for decades peddled research from a flawed 1960s model.
Yeah.
Today, we are setting the
Marty
record
McFly.
straight.
Mhm.
This is not a willpower problem for our nation's kids. This is something adults have done to kids, and we're going to fix it.
Absolutely.
Can we pause
And
it?
so,
Absolutely.
as Dr. Oz
And so one of the things that he was talking about also from the models being so old is there were a lot of people involved in the old model. And one of the people who were involved, it was a lot of different elements, but it was also the DGAC. And so basically they're like a committee that gets replaced every 5 years. And, they're of nutrition scientists and different experts and stuff. And what they did was they were using a lot of like FFQs. So just forms to go and ask people like, oh, hey, here's a list of like different foods. Just circle the one that you eat. And in the last like 6 months to a year, what would you say you mostly eat? And so the ways that they were grabbing this data, again, like he was saying, was flawed.
That's not very
It wasn't it like, and how accurate are kids going to be in the way that they report on how they eat?
We work with people hands-on every single day. To get someone to remember what they ate 2 weeks ago is a bit of a challenge for any of you professionals, personal trainers, nutritionists.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
You guys get it. Which is why we have tracking apps for nutrition. We have notebooks. We have ways of monitoring and measuring these things. It's like, hey, what'd you eat 6 months ago? I don't know. I think I had pizza a couple times. Like, it's not a good way.
That was one of the ways. And then on top of this too, you also have to look at the agricultural aspect of it too. Because America and Canada, we mostly grow things like, wheat and soy and different kind of simple carbohydrates like this. So there's a lot of different economic and political aspects to that. And one of the ways that all of this is going to get a lot better is now that there's more demand because there's more awareness of the importance of whole foods, of vegetables, of meat, of eggs, of raw milk, et cetera, because the demand is up, then that means we're going to have more access to these things.
Exactly.
Before, the way it was constructed, the demand was more veering on the would have been more on the carbohydrate thing. It would have been marketed in this way so that those match, so that those work. right?
Exactly.
And so now we're moving into an era where it's like where it's a
Whole
matchup
Foods
of
are back on top, baby.
Whole Foods and Whole Foods, where it's what we're producing and it's what we're eating. Before, what we were producing was only one part of the equation, because obviously carbohydrates are fine. It's just you don't want to have too much of a bad thing,
Right. And
right?
the carbohydrates that we get from natural sources, potatoes, vegetables, fruits, very different than the carbohydrates in a bagel that's made in 15 minutes because we have some genetically modified yeast grown on fungus and a bunch of quick congealer added ingredients just to run the production chain faster. That's not food. That's a food adjacent product.
Yeah.
But now that Whole Foods are going to be a much bigger focus, it looks like here, one of our big hopes is just that fad diets in general take a much larger backseat
Yes.
on just overall eating natural food.
Yeah, quality food. Because it's like when you eat enough of the right food, it actually is almost difficult to overeat. As an example, you can eat a lot of cookies in one setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't eat that many avocados in one setting.
Exactly.
Now, unless you're Justyn. But the point being, though, is when food is actually nutritionally dense, you can only eat so much of it in one go, because your body's like, oh, hey, I got what I needed. Thank you. You're good to go.
Yeah. Like one glass of concentrated orange juice can be the equivalent of like 4 to 6 oranges.
Yeah.
Who is sitting there and eating 4 to 6 oranges? Not many people. Is it easy to drink a glass of orange juice? Absolutely. And so we have this massive focus lately on dietary issues, dietary restrictions. People can't eat this, people can't eat that, instead of a focus on whole natural food as a way to try to rebuild our digestive system. People have just gotten this mindset of gluten gave me an issue one time, and so now I must be celiac. Or I had a problem with this kind of milk, and so I must be lactose intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Or I had some skin issues or some autoimmune problems, and so maybe I should go carnivore. And it's one way of looking at the problem, but it's not getting to the root of it, because you didn't develop that digestive issue because you weren't eating enough of a certain kind of food. You weren't eating enough meat, and so you developed an autoimmune issue. That's almost never going to happen. The autoimmune issue came from something else, and you're using the carnivore diet as a way of
avoiding the
helping
problem.
your body to deal with what's going on.
Yeah.
Most of the time, for most people, it only really works temporarily. And even still, it's not an actual solution, because as we've seen with so many people that go on carnivore, as soon as they go back to a regular diet where they're involving higher amounts of carbohydrates, more variety of foods, they're introducing vegetables again, their dietary issues usually come right back. So it's not a healing thing. It's just, I'm not hitting myself in the face, and so my bruise went away, and that's great, but it's not solving the problem of the threat of getting punched in the face. You just put a helmet on.
Yeah, it's the same thing with going vegan too.
Yeah.
But anyways,
all these restrictive diets.
Yeah.
They work for a time for certain people, but they're not the best solution, in our opinion.
Yeah, and one of the best things, I'll quickly lay this out too, is how if you look further into the new food pyramid as well, one of the things that they are really looking at is insulin problems, is making sure that food is bioavailable. So like bioavailable protein.
I know, we talked about that last week.
Yes.
They mentioned bioavailability.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
They're thinking about deeper, like the more depth to nutrition, instead of, again, like Marty was saying, just making sure people don't starve.
That's right.
And that's great, but we need to thrive. We're a society that needs to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings must thrive spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, and financially. And one of the biggest foundations to thriving is making sure you're thriving in your health.
That's right.
Because if you are not thriving in your health, how can you truly thrive in any other area of life?
Exactly. I mean,
it's difficult to.
It's one of the most basic and easiest parts of our life to get in control of.
Yes.
And so if we're struggling with that, usually other areas, relationships, finances, spiritual health, a lot of that stuff is going to take a back seat, because we're having a difficult time with the easy stuff. The harder stuff is going to be that much harder.
Yeah.
But okay, it's a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
We got to get back to it. Let's try to finish this
to
up. And hopefully we can work through this.
This is something adults have done to kids, and we're going to fix it.
That's right.
And so, as Dr. Oz said,
Not
the
the kid's
best
fault.
way to lower drug prices is for people to stop taking drugs they don't need. We are
True.
going to
Exactly.
finally address the root causes of our broken healthcare system: insulin resistance and general body inflammation, advanced by
Can
the
you pause right
protein
there?
poor
I know this is not ideal. We're not being efficient with the video. He said 2 root causes of our broken health
Healthcare
system right now.
system, yeah.
I agree that those 2 things, insulin resistance and bodily inflammation, are 2 big problems. The only issue that I have with that is the wording. I wouldn't call those root causes. Those would be root effects of the cause. The cause isn't the inflammation. Something caused the inflammation. The cause isn't the insulin resistance. Something caused the insulin resistance. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is the 2 root causes, the things that actually lead to the effects and the symptoms and the conditions of all the things that we're dealing with, is toxemia. So it's an
Yes.
accumulation of toxicity in the body past the point where normal detox, normal immunity, these normal defense mechanisms can handle heavy metals, parasites, chemicals, pesticides, food colorings, pollution in the water, pollution in the air, you name it, EDCs, VOCs, all these crazy things. Those get in the body, the levels become more than our body can handle, and so the system starts to show weak links. The system starts to show dents in the armor, cracks in the chain, and we see these as symptoms and health conditions. And right alongside that is malnutrition, which this food pyramid, from the looks of it, is going to have a big impact on fixing that. Again, prioritizing nutrient density, digestive efficiency, which is the backbone of every diet we've ever written for anybody ever in our whole career, because you need that first and foremost before you try to pick food sourcing or protein quality or anything else. We got to focus on everything we make decisions off of is for 2 main purposes: to increase nutrient density, getting as much nutritional value for as little time, calories, chewing, et cetera, to be efficient with our food. And then digestive efficiency, making sure that your body can actually process and utilize the nutrients you're eating. And there's a lot of really good things in this new food pyramid that are going to promote those things just on a massive mainstream, which is awesome. But again, I would just, one little tidbit, I'm being nitpicky here, but inflammation and insulin resistance are not causes of mass amounts of health problems. They lead to further symptoms, but there was something before them that caused that condition in the first place. And so we would call those effects. The causes is malnutrition and toxemia, toxicity, insulin resistance, immunity issues, immune dysregulation, inflammation. Those would be symptoms and effects of those causes, which lead to further health conditions, system shutdown, organ problems, et cetera. Really bad, and we got to fix those, but there is a layer underneath.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's get back to it.
Let's get back to it.
We are going to finally address the root causes of our broken healthcare system: insulin resistance and general body inflammation.
Still awesome.
Advanced by
Super
the
awesome.
protein poor, micronutrient poor, ultra processed,
Absolutely.
refined carbohydrate diet that kids are addicted to today. And so, on behalf of the Food and Drug Administration, we are proud to be a part of this. We are grateful to be contributing to this work. Thank you, Secretary Rollins. Thank you, Kyle Diamantis, the best deputy commissioner for food at the FDA the agency has ever had. This is a historic day in America.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It really is.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have that video linked down in the description so you guys can watch the full thing without our interruptions if you want. But I mean, again, just if there's anything that we're encouraged about from this, is just we're taking a much bigger focus on lifestyle adjustments
Yeah.
instead of the only answer being medication or surgery.
Yes.
We've known for a long time 75-85% of chronic conditions people live with today can be affected positively or negatively by lifestyle adjustments, lifestyle changes, lifestyle choices. And that has never been on the table as far as mass solutions for medical issues. We work with people all the time. They tell us every day, I talk to my doctor, I talk to my nurse, I talk to my personal trainer, I talk to this person, talk to that person. And most of the time it's if you want to change your diet, if you want to change your lifestyle, if you want to change how you sleep, how you move, how you exercise, any of these things, it's always a secondary backup. You could try
Yeah.
it, and let's hope that it works.
Considered alternative.
Exactly, but it's hardly ever someone's first choice, and it just doesn't make sense to us because prevention is always better than treatment. If we can make some lifestyle adjustments that could stop us from getting a chronic condition,
Exactly.
why not do that instead of having to try to deal with the repercussions of already having it afterward?
Yeah.
And food is such a huge part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So huge.
For
So
sure.
this is just super exciting. We're very, very happy to see the change. Honestly, can you think of a more exciting thing the FDA has ever done? Like, at least since we've been alive? I can't. Nothing's coming to mind right now.
I just think it's really wonderful because it just really feels like they're wanting to do something really good, and that this is just such a moving in the positive direction.
Exactly.
And there's so much more we could talk about this, but
that's right. I mean, obviously, we'll have to see how it plays out, but from the jump,
I think it's going to be good
very
things.
encouraging.
Yes,
Very encouraging.
for sure.
And for something to be super encouraging without massive red flags behind it is really rare, especially when it's coming from the government. But this all looks good. It all looks up, so we're going to keep a close eye on it. We're going to watch it. But this is really, really cool. So I think we have a few questions that we needed to answer for the stream. And then I think Drew might have a special plan involving carrots. We're not totally sure what it is yet. He didn't want to tell us. But we got questions. So let's pull those up, and then we'll just keep rolling. But anyway, the new food thing, awesome. Food's great. It's got to taste good, but it's got to be really healthy. And these are good, healthy changes. So we're excited.
Okay, so we got 4 questions, but I think we'll probably skip the ones at the end because we're already at a half hour.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So we got 1 question on digestion and 3 about winter time in general.
Okay, cool.
So we will start with the digesting question.
Sure.
And it is, what are a few things I could start doing today to accelerate my digestion?
One of the things that is really, really great, because we're going to have to go over something that everyone can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the best ways to actually really improve digestion is to eat smaller meals more frequently.
Yeah.
So if you do a typical, 3 solid meals every day, as they say, break that down into 4 or 5 or even more. And that doesn't have to be this complex, super inconvenient process. It just means have the meal that you would make and then save half of it for later.
Yeah. You pick 1 or 2 of the meals you already do. Eat half now, eat half in a couple hours. That's a great one.
Absolutely.
That's pretty universal.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think one caveat, this is not an excuse to eat an extra meal. We're talking about the same amount of food, the same amount of nutrition that we normally get. We're just dividing it into 4 or 5 portions instead of 2 or 3, like most people would do.
Yes.
So instead of a really big breakfast, a really big lunch, and a really big dinner, we're maybe going to do a smaller breakfast, snack in between breakfast
or
and
like
lunch.
second breakfast.
Yeah, second
and then
breakfast,
lunch and second
larger
lunch.
Smaller portion snack in between lunch and dinner, and then another smaller dinner. You usually want breakfast and dinner to be fairly small because you don't want a bunch of energy going to your digestive system super early in the morning or super late in the evening.
Yeah.
That will affect how you feel throughout the day. You want to be really focused during the early hours of the day, the first half, and you want to have an easy time going to bed. So lunch is usually the biggest meal or the 2 biggest meals, depending on how you break it up. But that's universal. That works for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So think about it in this way. You have a wrap and then you eat half of the wrap and then you eat the half of the wrap later, as an example.
Exactly. You're still getting the wrap. You're just not eating so much at once.
Yes.
Right. You're digesting it in portions.
So what's another one, babe?
Another one. This isn't quite as universal, but a 5 to 10 minute walk after a meal will do so much to help stimulate your digestive system and stimulate all the muscles that help contract and release enzymatic activity, motility, help things travel through smoothly, help to lubricate your intestines, lubricate your whole gut, even stimulate and promote better and more active microbes during digestion. So much proof and study out there about how this helps with blood sugar, how this helps with even blood pressure sometimes. You will digest your food faster. You will get less bloated while you're digesting your food. You will have less energy fluctuations while you're digesting or after you're done digesting. It's awesome. Another one. Okay, 2 bonus ones. You said 3 or you said 4? I got 2 left. Or I got one.
We
You got
got
one.
three more
I'm good.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
real quick.
Just one.
Being super happy or just in a good mood when you're eating, really, really helpful. You can eat a super awesome meal on paper, good nutrient profile, everything tastes delicious, super easy to digest types of foods, all that kind of stuff, super healthy plate. We'd be real proud of you. But if you're eating it in a state of anger or chronic stress or feeling super under pressure or super anxious, super worried, all these negative emotions going on, those negative emotions take priority away from your digestive system. Your body's focused on other stuff. And that meal, even if it's super healthy on the plate, will not be digested nearly as good as it could have been if you don't eat it when you're in something resembling peace, something resembling happiness, something resembling calmness. So just, a quick little digestion check just to make sure, like, hey, am I good to eat right now? Or do I got to, push it off by 5 minutes and watch a funny cat video on YouTube, something like that.
All right.
One test that we teach is just if you can do a genuine smile without forcing it before you eat food, give yourself a little laugh, a little chuckle, you're good to go. If you have to force the smile, hold it off by a few minutes and work on that, and then get down to Chow Town.
Absolutely. Your digestive system is much better when you're cool, calm, and collected.
That's right.
All right. What's the next question, Drew?
All right, Maximus from Quebec is right again. He is saying, what can I do to get more vitamin D in the wintertime when the sun isn't out as often?
Okay. You want to take this one?
You can still get some UV light, like even through the window. But one of the things that I'll do is, especially in the morning time, because really it depends the reason why. You were saying vitamin D. So any time throughout the day that you can do this, I try to do this especially in the mornings because it's really good for your hormones. But opening up the window just a crack, and even if you're covered in a blanket or you have a warm drink or something like this, then opening up the window and being able to look outside and getting the light into your eyes, onto your forehead, and then even onto your forearms as well are two really great ways, right? Because you need to make sure you're getting it into your eyes and then onto your skin.
That's right.
And then as well, again, you can still get light inside of you and still be decently warm, even if you're near a window.
I got at least 2 photos. I don't know if you even know this. I know you know of one of them, but I have at least 2 photos with her in a long sleeve shirt and then a hoodie on top and then a jacket on top of the hoodie and then a blanket covering her head over top of the jacket. And she's just leaning out of our patio door, just staring at the sun for 5 minutes. I got a cute little photo.
Oh,
awesome. But I share that story just to say this woman's committed. She's committed. And if you want to get some vitamin D in the winter, you got to be committed too. Something else, maybe we'll do another episode on it sometime, but vitamin D loading during the sunnier months, spring, summer, a little bit of fall, that will help to carry you through the winter. And so usually the best answer, just that we prep before winter starts to help get your body healthy and ready for winter. And then we do it again next year. But if that didn't happen, and if you need help now and it's winter already, listen to this lady, because she's got the photo proof.
absolutely. You can do it. And again, you don't have to do it for an extended amount of time. Just try to do it as frequently as possible.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Next question.
Right. Next question is from Alan from Buffalo.
Who?
Because it's colder out. Alan from Buffalo.
Okay.
Alan from Buffalo. Okay.
Because it's colder outside this time of year, I tend to stay cold even when I bundle up. Is this a circulation problem, and how can I fix it?
It depends how cold it is, I guess, but it definitely could be a circulation problem. If it is a circulation problem, there will also be other signs that there's circulation issues. So that would be, for example, if you get out of breath very, very easily, if you do, moderate to low intensity activity, like a slight jog, if you get out of breath really quickly, that could be a sign of you just, poor cardiovascular health. But it could also be a circulation issue because you need oxygen and fluids and everything to circulate to stop the lactic acid from building up, to make sure that the ATP going to your muscles is burned efficiently, that type of thing. So that's one little test, just how quickly do you get out of breath. Another test would just be how quickly does lactic acid build up in your body in general. So, if you try to do some body weight squats, if you can't get to 30, 40, 50 squats without having your legs be really, really, really on fire, that's another issue. If you generally get cold fingertips, cold hands, cold feet, even if the rest of your body is warm, that's another thing to look at as far as circulation goes.
And also keep in mind during the winter, and he said bundled up. So
Mhm.
that might be obviously when he's like
Like
outside.
you when you get
So
vitamin D.
so when you yeah, exactly. So when you're outside and it's quite cold and you're not properly bundled up, especially because obviously people's definitions of that can vary, but let's say even if
Mhm.
he is, but if it's cold enough, your body tries to really retain heat to your inner body. That's
Mhm.
where all your organs are, more than your limbs and your hands and everything.
Mhm.
So that's one thing to keep in mind. And so doing some of the tests that Justyn was mentioning would be really good. If you're pretty active, then that is also going to be something really, really wise to do, because at least you are making sure that the circulation is happening,
Exactly.
even if you have to go outside and then your fingertips and your toes and stuff
Yep.
are colder because it's just cold outside.
Yeah. Another easy test too to double check on this is just do like 3 to 5 minutes of exercise, like light to moderate stuff, aerobic things. So not quite hit, but a little bit above walking. So, maybe think jumping jacks, jump rope, burpees, push-ups mixed with squats, mixed with pull-ups. You want to try to get your whole body moving, and do that for like 3 to 5 minutes continuously or over a couple sets, whatever is easy for you at your current fitness condition. And just if the rest of your body feels hot and you can tell that you've got a bit of a pump going, and you can tell that your face is maybe a bit more flush and your heart rate got up by a bit and your breathing's a bit more, and you can tell that you've stimulated some circulation, but your hands and your feet are still colder than the rest of your body, that's a really easy test that you can do. It works if it's cold or if it's hot, because the exercise is going to stimulate circulation. It's going to get your fluids moving. And if the blood isn't reaching your hands, isn't reaching your feet, if it's just staying in maybe your arms or your legs or your core, like I was talking about a second ago, then that could definitely indicate some circulation problems too. But it really just depends on the person. It also depends on how cold it is. Hopefully something in there was helpful. But run a few of those tests, do them a couple times in a row just to double, triple check. And if you need a lot of help, just reach out and we'll give you a more personal answer. But Buffalo guy, hopefully that's helpful. I know it can be pretty cold in Buffalo.
Yeah, he likes Buffalo. So
Buffalo's
anyways, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast today. We really appreciate all your help, Drew. Thank you, Deputy. And just the amazing things are to come, you guys. And it's like, as we were moving further and further into this, more refined culture of prioritizing natural health, this is going to be better for so many families. Good things are happening.
Well, I would say go back to this natural health idea, because that's all we had forever.
Yep, for sure.
Forever.
Both.
So we're going back to our roots, going back to origin,
Yeah, for sure. All right. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for watching. Thanks, Drew. We appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, tell us why. If something in here was helpful for you today, if you learned something, if you laughed a little bit, share with a friend. You guys sharing this, you guys helping us to reach more people is the best way that the show can grow. It's the best way that we can get this message of healthier families, healthier men, healthier women, healthier kids out to the world, out to people who need it more. So thank you guys for your time. We appreciate it a lot.
And one way that you can even involve your family even more and even get further help is we actually hold monthly workshops. So this month we're going to talk about one on digesting your protein, and we're going to help everyone put together their own meal plan on how to digest their protein properly. And it's going to be very efficient. It's going to be lots of fun. There's going to be plenty of people who come out to it, and it's going to be held on the 31st.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. More details below.
Yeah, we'll have details about that in the description. You guys are the best. You guys are awesome. Stay healthy. Live life to the fullest. Keep your family healthy. We'll see you guys on Thursday. All right?
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.